And we're back.
We are back. It was just 5 minutes ago we wrapped up the last one.
I know. The people don't understand that. The people don't know this. So fun fact, Nick, last week we had 223 people live at the download. And this week, which is the most we ever had. And this week we had 234 people put in the notification for us going live.
Oh wow.
So we're growing. Each week we're going up about 10, at least. You know, when I first started coming on these things, it was like 105, and we've doubled that. So, you know,
that's great.
You know, maybe by Q2 we'll be getting like 1,000 per live stream for season 3.
I think way more than that, because I think the creators will start coming in large numbers. They are only now starting to attend the downloads because we have a creator component to it. But as we start onboarding thousands of creators, they're going to show up. So yeah, I got some changes here. I put on a bright white light now. So it's burning my retinas right now. I don't know if I'll keep it on throughout.
Oh, I got a ring light too. And like whenever we're done with this, I turn it off and like I like see dots. I'm like,
and I just realized that I didn't switch back to my artwork one before doing this one. So I have my superheroes one. Oh, look at that. It recognizes the thumbs up.
I don't know if I have that feature turned on for my Mac.
Yeah, but superheroes are fine. Why not? You know, it's cool. So yeah, lots. I usually on Fridays I wake up around 3 a.m. because I know I want to like get all the information as fresh as possible and get it all into a deck. There's a lot. There was so many topics today. I actually didn't cover all of them because it would take us 3 or 4 hours to do it. So.
Well, that's why we did the decks and the poet midweek.
Yeah, because that would take a long time to do online during the download. But I still have a lot to show, a lot of new stuff to show. I'm really excited about it.
Are we gonna make that Wednesday town hall semi-regular thing? I mean, we haven't discussed it. But like...
I can't commit to it, but yes, I would like to do in the middle of the week kind of a Discord live because I think it's just like we do spaces, all right? We do spaces on Twitter for and I because it's more engaging. People can talk, etc. So I feel like we should do the Discord live also.
Yeah, if not every week, every other week, and I know for specifically that I will at least have one with all the new. And I keep saying this, all the changes that we're going to have in Discord coming up. I have a couple fun new bots and FAQs, some changes going on to make communication just a little bit better, and yeah, I'm looking forward to live streaming that so everyone can get the lay of the land and understand how things work and all of that good stuff, so we can be a better community. So
yeah, cool. All right, let's kick this off. Yeah.
All right. If you need me, holler. Otherwise, ask your questions. I'm going to be starring them for Nick to answer at the end. So,
all right, let's get going, folks. Welcome again to another episode of the Vitruveo download. This is season 2, episode 4. It is January 26, 2024. I'm Nick Kalyani, project lead and founder. I'm so excited to have all of you here today. We've got a lot of information to share with you. The download is our opportunity to tell you about everything that went on in the past week, in the past 5 days, and also some key things that are coming up that you need to be mindful of in the next week or so. So without further ado, let's kick things off and get going here. So our first thing is I wanted to tell you is I'm trying out a new format for download here. I would love to hear from you whether you like it or not. What I've done is essentially created 6 categories, 6 buckets, if you will: protocol, capital, tokens, products, creators, and ecosystem. And so I'm trying to essentially group all the news and information we have under these categories to make it easier for people to find and digest. And also, it makes it easier for me to organize and present it because a lot of these things also have crossovers. but we'll put it in the primary category. So that's where you'll find it. All right, let's start with the protocol. So the first thing I want to do is report here, like at the tail end of last download, we reported that mainnet RC2 is live. What I want to do today is tell you about what primary change there was in there. What we've seen is that the protocol is stable. We haven't seen any issues that require any kind of fixing. So any transition you see from RC1, RC2, RC3, etc., is going to be some minor enhancements. We are not seeing any fixes that are needed. So what happened with RC2 is that we deployed what's called a pre-compiled smart contract. So if you're familiar with smart contracts, you know that any developer can create code in Solidity and deploy it, and that becomes a smart contract. Well, those are not the only smart contracts possible. The protocol can have built-in smart contracts. And we've built one, and we've deployed it at that unique address, and it looks like a bunch of zeros, but if you look at the far right, there's 2 Fs there. So that's, you can tell pre-compiled smart contracts because they have these unique addresses. So what I have shared on my screen is a little bit of code for our developer friends, whoever wants to try it out, where it shows how you use this contract and let me explain what it does. One of the unique traits of this protocol compared to other EVM chains is that it has a rebasing function built right into the protocol. Now, when you have something like that, and you've got a smart contract that, say, is tracking a user's balance or something like that, one of the things that is going to impact your smart contract is that that user's balance might change dynamically because of a rebase occurring. Not through a transfer, not through a deposit, any of that stuff. It's automatically changing because of a transfer. How does your smart contract code detect that? How do you know that happened? Well, you wouldn't unless you were checking for it. And so one of the unique things developers need to do on our protocol, on Vitruveo, is they need to be mindful of balances changing. And we've created this special precompiled smart contract so they can query the blockchain at any time and find out what is the current rebase value. The rebase value is just the multiplier with the balance. When you multiply it, it tells you what the real balance is. So if you know the rebase multiplier, what you can do is compute very quickly if the balance has increased because of a rebase or because of a transfer. It's very easy to compute that. So what I've done here is I've deployed a test smart contract that actually uses that. So you can go look up this smart contract. It's currently live on mainnet. You can use the QR code to find it, and you can see how this works. So this is really, really important and a useful feature for developers, regardless of what kind of contract you create. So we're grateful to have that in. All right, next, let's look at some protocol stats. Well, as of this morning, there are 19,200 wallets on here on the blockchain, which is great. We have a consistent 5-second block time under various loads. We have stress tested the protocol at this point, and it is holding fine. We have already have 1.6 million blocks since Genesis. That's do the math. Our Genesis was October 24th. I'm not sure about the exact time, but that's what it was. In the past few days, January 12th, we logged 3,002 transactions. That was kind of high. And we expect 25,000, maybe more transactions next week. As you will see later here, there's going to be a fair amount of activity, airdrops, etc. happening. And I'm going to predict that there is an extremely high likelihood of our first rebase occurring this coming week with all the airdrops and all that happening. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be exciting for us to see this first rebase happening and seeing everyone's balances change dynamically. So we'll be sure to monitor that, and we can tell you the exact block number where that would that transition would occur, because rebases only occur at the end of an epoch. An epoch is essentially 17,280 blocks. So every 17,280 blocks, there's a check, and the rebase might occur. So I'm excited about that, and I'll be sure to provide more details about when you can expect that based upon the transactions. All right, let's move on. The next thing is again catering to developers now, because now that we have reached the point where we have some stability around the mainnet, the testnet, etc., and we want to start our developer outreach. And the first thing a developer needs is to be able to test on the testnet. So we have launched a faucet. It is available, and when you go to that faucet, you will receive 10 test VTRU into your wallet. So be sure to connect to testnet. The wallet is at faucet.vitruveo.xyz, and it will only send funds on testnet. This is not for mainnet. We are not giving away free VTRU to everybody. So that would be nice, but we cannot do that. All right, let's move on. Next step, let's talk about capital. So we hit a milestone yesterday. We hit $1.25 million in booster sales. Very, very exciting. The booster sales continue to trend upward as our outreach strategy continues. You're going to continue to see more and more articles and press releases, etc., going out, and that is informing more people about it. And so they are finding their way back here and buying boosters. So the total is actually 1,250,360. The last I checked. Let me do a quick check here live and see what we got. Yep, it increased a little bit since then. That's great. All right. So the actual count is 8,166 boosters at this point and 533 early birds. So you can see the booster contract that's there. As always, whenever I do these downloads, the very last slide has a short link for you to be able to download this. You can download it, but it's easy to remember, actually. It's vitru.xyz/download dash. This one is season 2, episode 4, so it'll be S2Ep04. But I don't expect anyone to remember that, but at the last slide, I will show that. All right, so you can go to booster.vitruveo.xyz and purchase your booster. We also we have super boosters, we have nano boosters, and I want to always recognize and thank everyone in the community who continues to step up. We are going to do a quick analysis here. It's a bit challenging, but we're going to start doing some analysis on the booster addresses and compare them to our holder addresses to determine how many are coming in from outside versus still within our community. There is a change that had requested. I don't see it live yet, but see this little space here? You're going to start seeing a counter for each type of booster here shortly. I looked at the test. It was already done. They just haven't deployed it yet because there have been other priorities, and you learn about those priorities in the course of this download. But expect to see that so you can get a granular count rather of the boosters that are by category. All right, so moving on here, let's go to the next topic, which is Saft fund. So Saft stands for Simple Agreement for Future Tokens. And as you know, the investors who are sort of non-booster investors, if you will, they are coming in via a Saft agreement. Now, the challenge with the Saft is that it takes a certain amount of time from the time someone says, yeah, I'm interested, I'm going to commit to it, etc., to the point where they get their internal organization approvals, etc., and then to the point where they go into DocuSign and then sign that Saft and then ultimately deliver the funds. So it's a time-consuming process. Anyway, what we are doing is we are setting up a new multisig, and that multisig is going to have funds earmarked for liquidity only. So we are getting ready here, poised for listings for both VTRO and wVTRU. And what we want to do is earmark liquidity capital and put it out there. So now, as the Saft funds come in, you will see that multisig updated. So we'll have that, and we'll also have the booster. We have the progress bar there. We'll update that. I'll probably ask the devs to see to put a different color for the Saft funds on there, so it's not conflated with booster funds in there. But you will see that progress bar change. Now, one of the key elements of the language in the Saft is that there is a 5-day token delivery time frame for the Saft. So we have to be super careful that when an investor signs that Saft, we are prepared to deliver them. And in order to deliver these tokens, we have to have our vesting contract in place, and I'll give you an update on that momentarily. So we are at this threshold right now where we can start accepting the official Saft signed documents. So next download, which is next Friday, you will see all this in play. You will see the new multisig. You will see the progress indicator changed with the funds as they come in, and you can start seeing that progress. All right. The next thing is a financial update. So the council leads are currently working with Q1 budget. So I've asked them to really take a good hard look at our capital spend, and to now that we are getting to the point where we have tokens that are going to be liquid, to look at voluntary deferment of pay, and also to look at token conversion, just to keep our monthly spend in control. So we haven't submitted any expenses yet for January. We'll submit them on January 21 after everyone has made their choices around voluntary deferment and token conversion. And I thank the team for doing that. We really appreciate that. It helps with cash flow significantly. So we're estimating that it'll be around 125K plus or minus 20K, just working through those numbers yet. There will be some one-time expenses, and I always carve those out separately for things like product specific ones, or any listing specific ones, or any grant specific ones. So again, next download, I'll have the Jan details for you, but currently the multisig has no outgoing transactions. All right, let's talk about the tokens. I'm gonna gotta do one thing here real quick. All right, cool. All right, let's do a talk about the swap analysis, which we've locked down. We had locked it down, but a lot of people wanted some additional things, so unlocked it for a bit. But it has been locked now. So here are the final numbers. So we have 3,944 wallets sealed. So that's 22% of 17,648 wallets total. 2.5 million VTRU swapped, which doubled that, became the amount of VTRO airdropped. So that's 5 million VTRO that was airdropped. And the average choice folks made to swap was 30% of their wallet. So they kept 70% in VTRU and 30% to VTRO. So 13,704 wallets at 50% will swap 6.63 million VTRU back to the treasury. So that's the total amount of VTRU back to the treasury is 9.15 million. And as I mentioned last week, this is almost exactly on point. We had estimated it would be approximately 10 million. That was the goal we were getting for. We were a little short of that, but I'm really, really, really happy with this outcome. Couldn't have asked for anything better. So now we've got a rebalanced cap table that is more palatable to investors. So this is a great outcome, and I thank everyone who took the time. The 3,944 of you who sealed their wallets. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right, moving right along. A VRA listing update. I know everyone's anxious about that. All right. So the MEXC integration is in progress. When we started the MEXC integration, we told them it was like a token, and they said it was pretty easy. But we did realize that if it's a token on a new chain, there's a whole process of integration that has to be done. So we are rushing and doing all of that. So because it's a new chain integration, we've had to do some other steps, and we've basically, I've got a Telegram group with a bunch of MEXC people and a bunch of us in there, and they give us these tasks, and we like, okay, how quickly can we do it? Now, the first thing we did last week is we gave them our protocol software. If you go to GitHub on Vitruveo, you will see that the protocol repository was actually changed to have a release tag there. That was a requirement that MEXC made. So we did that. We made a specific release tag for mainnet release candidate 2. They took that, and now they have a Vitruveo node running on premise. Why? Well, they don't want to use our RPC node they need high speed, and so they have their node running. It's also for reliability and their peace of mind. So that's there. Now, a curveball they threw at us is security team review basically said, no, two validators is not enough. We need you to have at least 10 validators. So in the past 3 days, we have fast-tracked validator onboarding. And yesterday we onboarded 5 validators. They are syncing. It takes about 1 hour and 40 minutes to sync up. So I think there are different times right now on what their sync status is. And today we'll onboard 4 additional validators. That'll make us a total of 9 plus 2 existing 11 validators online. I just want to take a moment here to thank a few people. I want to first and foremost thank Baron, the team lead, for the validators. And I also want to thank these 9 validators who've stepped up and who are rushing, basically. Honestly, I have no idea how they've pulled this off. They are working very, very hard and very, very fast to pull this off. But I'm really, really grateful because, the whole community is waiting for this listing to occur. And we had not even planned on starting the validator onboarding. I met with Baron in person. I had the good, he was here on Saturday, and I had a chance to meet with him in person. And we were talking about, okay, let's make February the month of validator onboarding. And here we are. Mexi comes up and says, nope, you can't do this. You need more validators. And so out of nowhere, we've just pulled this out. I want to thank Prabhu also and the engineering team for getting the scripts ready and getting all of that ready. But it's looking good that today or latest by tomorrow, we'll have that. The Mexi security team will review that, and they will really at that point, we've done everything that they've asked us to. There's at least as of right now, there's nothing pending in my Telegram chat that I see that they require us to do. But if something new comes up, we just jump on it immediately, like literally within minutes, because this is the highest priority task we have. So as soon as they tell us, we will announce the date. I presume that they have an internal marketing plan they go through, and so they will start promoting it, etc. on there, and they'll give us a date. So as soon as we have that date, you will know it, and we'll go. But again, I can't thank all our validators enough for pulling through and getting this done, because that could have been a significant delay, but we've compressed time here and made it into a very short delay. So I appreciate that. All right, a heads up on the wrapped VTRU listing. So we know we're going to do that. So we have discussions underway with multiple centralized exchanges on that. One of the things we are currently doing is working on strategizing on the timing and launch of the DEX. As many of you know, we now have the DEX running on testnet, and it's a short leap to get that running on mainnet. I mean, we're talking a day or 2 at the most. So the question is then, we launched that on mainnet. What does that mean around the listing around wrapped VTRU on that DEX? Because it is a token that's available, and sure enough, someone will create a liquidity pair for it. So we have to think carefully about that. Right now, my thinking is that there's no change in what we've set as our sort of markers here. The trigger continues to be a 3 million goal, which is actually well within sight now. So you're seeing the booster number there, but you have to add to it the Saft numbers that are coming in. So we are inching closer to that 3 million goal, and it's well within sight now. So I think I would say that we are well over the hump, if you will, the midpoint. And so we can get to that goal very, very quickly. And that means that the wrapped VTRU listing gets nearer to the horizon. So, and speaking of horizon, here's some news that you will appreciate. If you go to CoinGecko right now, you can see that both these tokens are now available there. They don't have all the full information yet, because the centralized exchange listing, etc., is going to come up. But both of those are now approved and waiting. In MetaMask right now, you will probably get a warning around VTRU, etc. And that's because there is a repository, a GitHub repository, where you have to submit a pull request, an update request for them to approve. So there are 57 updates that are pending there. Ours is one of them. As soon as that gets approved and pulled into the main repository, I believe shortly after that, because I think it's pretty much live, MetaMask and other wallets will start recognizing and stop showing warnings around VTRU, etc. So we are doing everything we need to in order to get ready for the coin listings here, and everything's going on track. So that is all the news around tokens. Let's now shift our attention for a bit to creators. But first, sip of chai. All right. So, I've been reaching out to creators through my Twitter, etc., and telling them that they need to start coming to these downloads, because this is where the most impactful information for creators is shared. For Kajiano and I, do spaces, etc. But here we can show and tell, which is not really feasible on X. So I'm excited here to give you an update on some of the things relevant to creators today. So the first thing is, last week, we talked a little bit about license types. So we have an NFT license, which is what the world knows of currently. That's how most artists and most creators experience Web3, is with an NFT license. But the challenge with an NFT license is that it's a one and done thing, right? So you sell it, and yeah, you might get some secondary sale or whatever, but for all practical purposes, your NFT is sold and you're done. Now, what most creators are not aware of is the fact that unless they explicitly give up their rights, by default, they own the copyright to their work. And there is nothing in the law that prevents them from repurposing that artwork and relicensing that artwork in various other scenarios. This is an important consideration for income. If you think about how the software industry made a lot of people wealthy, it's with a very simple formula of build once and sell again and again and again, that sell being a license model. So there is no reason why creators cannot implement that model. And Vitruveo is the first protocol to implement this in a formalized way with on-chain tokenized licenses. So we do the NFT thing. That's bread and butter. I know we have to do it. Everyone does it. But what we are doing here is unlocking new recurring streams of monetization, channels of monetization for creators with streams, print, and a new type of license that I'm pleased to introduce today called Remix. So the idea here is that we are going to continually implement new license types and test the waters for experimentation. Can we try to license artwork to this audience? And what will the monetization strategy look like? So we are with Remix, what we are doing is giving the ability for creators to essentially say that I want my artwork to be available for folks who want to remix it in a different scenario. Now, this is pretty common in music, but not as common in visual arts. So this is a new and interesting thing. So how does this work? Well, as you may be familiar with the architecture right now, with Vitruveo blockchain, you do not mint anything. Instead, you consign your artwork to the blockchain in what's called a registry, an asset registry. So you essentially say, here, blockchain, here's my artwork, here's all the information about it, the metadata about it, the signed media for it, etc. And then with that artwork, you create licenses. So you can create multiple licenses. You can say that, well, I don't want this artwork to be made into an NFT. In that case, don't give it an NFT license. Or you can say, I want this artwork, but I want it only for streaming. And so you can create only a streaming license and so on. So the idea is that NFT license is a one-time income, but all these other licenses are recurring income. My vision is that every artist creates an artwork, and for the rest of their life, that artwork makes them money every single month. That's the goal we are trying to achieve here. So with this new Remix license, we are targeting social media users. So we are targeting Web3, degens, social media users, etc., because meme culture is a very, very big deal right now. So with Remix license, users, what you're doing is you're licensing to users the ability to use your photographs and artworks in Remix applications similar to Canva. There's a significant monetization potential for this, especially if you create themed collection. What's a theme collection? Well, take one artwork and maybe create multiple themes of it. That could be color or some variant, etc. So create a collection of it, which then different people could use in different Remix applications. It gives you recurring income. And if you stay tuned for the rest of this show, I will be announcing our first Remix partner today and show you how that works. So really, really excited about that. All right, so that's Remix license. Now, let's move our attention to products. So unlike other protocols where the protocol is the supporting tools is what they produce, we are actually going to create, design, build, maintain our products. So we have a few products that we've already started to roll out, and I'd like to talk about those. So the first product, which is of interest to our entire community, is VTRU Scope. So VTRU Scope was already to have been released, but because we have had to respond sort of on an emergency basis in order to get our listing going with Mexi, etc., so you have to shift developer resources on that. But I'm pleased to report that the vesting contract, which is the primary contract we want to roll out initially, the final testing is in progress. We expect that it'll be finalized this weekend. And so early next week, we should have VTRU Scope running for you. Now, as I hinted earlier, we will most likely hit a rebase this week. And let me tell you why. The reason is that with the initial release of VTRU Scope, we will do airdrops for a large number of NFTs, but we're going to start off with 3 NFTs, and all of them will have a claim capability. So what's the claim capability? The claim capability is the ability for you to use VTRU Scope to claim any vested coins, any vested VTRU that are due to you. Now, it turns out the timing on this is perfect. When we did an airdrop of VTRU and VTRO a few weeks ago, we calculated 2 vesting periods that would amount to 0.55%. So that's 0.25% for the first month and 0.30% for the second month, adding up to 0.55%. Now, another vesting period has just passed 2 days ago on January 24th. So what's great is next week, you'll be able to immediately test this claim capability and get another 0.30% vested VTRU added to your wallet. So that's a great way for everyone to test this out and see how it works. So that's the primary feature we'll have on day 1 is claim. But then subsequent to that, we're going to add your perks capability, your rev share capability, and your governance capability. So we'll do the perks first, because we do want you to be able to claim those also. But keep in mind that perks claims come with the caveat that every time you claim, you reduce your ability to claim in the future. So you don't want to claim all 100% right away, because then you miss out on every other future perk coin that's going to be dropped into the pool. By the way, the perks, the way it works is the coins are pre-built into the protocol and dropped into the pool whenever a rebase occurs based on a vesting period of 24 months. So basically, the protocol checks whenever a rebase occurs, are there any vested perks that should be deployed? And if so, boom, it drops them into the pool, and they're available for you to claim if you are eligible for any kind of perks. And yeah, we have different classes of perks, different buckets, if you will, for boosters and for I believe validators, and there was one more, but that eludes me right now. But yeah, so the NFT drops that we are going to do are 3 types: Nexus, which is a vast majority of all the holders, that's all of them; Dreamers, which is for the creators. So all of you who have a Nifty Dreams Pass will get a Dreamer NFT to recognize the creators in our ecosystem. And then benefactors. So this is any investors that have come via startup acquisition or anything like that. They're going to get the benefactor NFTs. So those are the 3 classes. of NFTs that we will be dropping with VTRU. And I'm going to try and get our engineering team to push it and do it sooner in the week rather than later. But it is firm. VTRU launches next week. So that's that. Let's go on to the next thing here and talk about VTRO swap. So I did a town hall on Discord earlier this week on Wednesday, where we went into a lot of detail and did a demo of our DEX VTRO swap, which is live right now on testnet. So I appreciate that the community is testing. I saw a bunch of liquidity pairs that people had created. We've created 3 test tokens for you: TQQQQ, TUSDX, and VTRO. But the developers among you can see that the source code for these tokens is right there in the Explorer. You can copy paste that and launch your own test token on testnet very easily, and it follows the same model where there is a mint function. You go put in your address and hit mint, and it gives you 1,000 tokens. So feel free to do that. Let's really put this DEX through its paces and test it out with as many pairs as possible. Now, one of the things that we are going to be changing is the color appearance of this. That's changed. And I also know that the coins don't appear in that in the list when you're searching. The reason for that is because the DEX does use CoinGecko, etc., to search. We have augmented that with a static list, so some of our coins show up here. So I'll tell the engineering team to add these 3 tokens to that lookup list, so it's a little easier. But if you custom add your own tokens, they won't show up in the list. You have to put the contract address into the DEX because the DEX doesn't know, isn't aware of it. We'll see if we can do a workaround on that, and I can ask the engineering team to look at all verified contracts that are on the blockchain and see if any of them are ERC20 and auto add them into the DEX for testing purposes. So that's likely something we'll put into play. But I'm not going to do a demo of the DEX here because it's a little bit time consuming, but it's fairly easy to use. I did not put the link here. I should have done that. It's test-swap.vitruveo.xyz. So we'll be sure to add that to the notes when we, or I'll also change the deck before I publish it. All right. So that is VTRO swap product. And what's the next product? Well, we already talked about this, so I'll skip that. The next product is Poet. So really, really exciting. On last download, I demonstrated Poet to you, and I put up my Poet there, which as of today had around 388 claimed. Now, Fur and I are having a contest to see who can get to 1,000 faster. So I didn't want to be unfair and get an advantage, so I didn't put my link up here. But please go to both of our accounts and claim. So the beta was launched this week. 2,400 poets already minted, and that's actually growing very, very fast. I'm really happy with the progress. The creator community is loving this. We are doing daily bug fixes as people report them. And what I wanted to do today is to share with you a little bit about the vision for Poet, because last week I kind of talked about what the app does, and now that people have had a chance to digest it, maybe we'll talk a little bit about where this is going. So first, Super Chai. So, oh, that's funny. So the first thing is we are planning a developer SDK. SDK stands for Software Development Kit, which will allow developers to build everywhere, to build modules for Poet. See, the thing is, Poet is representative of a token, but it's much more than that. And you don't intuitively get that until you look at what it represents. If you think about it, the last remaining currency most of us have, well, of course, we all in cryptocurrency, we got that, but I'm talking about is attention. Attention is the most valuable human currency. And everyone wants it, right? Like marketers want it. Then people want it. People demand your attention all the time. Your family demands it, etc. And Poet is a tangible mechanism to thank people for their attention. And this would be any people in your life that constitute some tangible group, you know. So I'll use the example of creators in NFT, right? Who is someone that they would like to thank? Well, it would be collectors, right? So everyone who has purchased the artwork is someone that represents sort of a tiny virtual community around that creator, and that collector gave them their money and their attention, and so they are deserving of a thank you. And Poet is a way to say thank you. Poet is a way to also recognize and reward any folks in your business, in your personal life, etc., that you feel have done something compelling for you. Now, that's the start of the journey, right? Where does Poet go? Well, the first thing we want to do is give people the ability to unlock some premium content, some special content, because you maybe attended a workshop, or you attended a space, or you donated for charity or something like that. So that's a built-in feature of Poet. You can create a Poet and create unlockable content. So you can have a PDF, a video, an image, etc., that's built in. But we want to do well beyond that. Our team right now is working on creating a Discord bot. So it recognizes Poet as a mechanism for anyone who has a Discord server. So anyone can go, you can go create a Discord server and create channels in there and have channel access gated according to Poet ownership. So that's sort of a token gating feature of Poet. In this SDK, we will provide a mechanism by which anyone with a Web 2 or a Web 3 app can easily create secure web pages that are only accessible to certain Poet holders. So if you hold this token, you have access to this website content, etc. So that's there. But the other thing is also we want to unlock unlimited use cases. So one of the things we'll also be doing is creating a Poet plugin for platforms like Zapier, where you can go and essentially put Poet into the workflow mix of every other app that's out there, whether it's Google Docs or Dropbox or SMS services, email services, etc., and really start integrating Poet into the fabric of society, if you will, and Web 2 culture and Web 3 culture. So that's where Poet is headed. It is about the attention economy and about how we can use our protocol to reward people and make it possible for people to create these communities. Now, everything about Poet has been designed with Web 2 in mind. That's why you only need an email address, and there's no crypto anything. But under the hood, it's all crypto, and we intend to keep it that way. We want to make sure that Poet actually becomes someone's first sort of foray into Web 3. Like, what's this? It's an interesting token. What's a token? Well, it's a way for you to represent value on chain. What's a chain? Well, it's a blockchain. Do I need to know more about it? No, because it's just like using a database or something. You don't care to learn more about how a database works or etc. So we want to have people think more about the benefits and the features and the applications of it, and start moving people away from this conversation that everyone always has about what's a blockchain. Well, it's a series of blocks that have dependent all of that is technical underpinnings. We don't care about that. All right, so that's Poet for you. And today I'd like to start using Poet. I already kind of did a quick demo of it last week, but in software we have this term called dog fooding. Dog fooding means use your own software. You use it, test it, etc. Because if you don't use your own software, why should others? And so we're going to make it a point to make Poet a first-class citizen of these downloads and actually reward your attention. If you come and listen to our download, listen to our updates and participate, we want to reward you. So what we want to do is, starting today, we want to have a Poet for every download and make it possible for you to start acquiring these. And then when you acquired a few of them, we will give you another poet because we'll airdrop a poet because you've got a series of them. So today's poet is available to you by going to VTRU.xyz/download DAOnload poet, and or you can scan the QR code if you're watching this on the screen and grab it on your mobile. Yeah, so this will get today's poet into your wallet, into your account, and as I said, as we get to the end of the season, what we'll do is start rewarding folks who regularly show up. Now, the gating for this is that this is only available for 1 day. So you need to get it today. It will be gone tomorrow. You will not be able to claim this tomorrow. So when someone's watching this video, maybe a week later or whatever, they will not be able to claim this. This is for the live sort of attendees who are here present and watching this. So thank you for that. All right. Switch gears now to VTRU Studio. VTRU Studio is our application for creators. It's a platform that is our first stop for all creators to come in and to start uploading their artworks, to consign them to the blockchain. And it has all the features for really making sure that it's a simple, user-friendly experience to consign the artwork. I'm pleased to report today that it's 80% feature complete now. The metadata engine has been implemented, and you'll see shortly what I mean by that. I'm going to show you that it's not fully production ready, but it's fully implemented. So you can take a look at that. The licensing framework has been implemented. So I talked earlier about licenses. You're going to see that implemented here momentarily. And one of the things we've noticed as we analyzed all the CC licenses, CC being Creative Commons, is that there are certain situations where artists might not find that license favorable. So we are working with our in-house counsel, Jamelia Greer, to create a specific Vitruveo license for creators that is extremely creator-friendly and applies to most use cases. So that is going to be built into Vitruveo Studio. And so you can choose either a Creative Commons or you can choose a Vitruveo license. So let's go and take a look at VTRU Studio. So what I just realized that I had intended to show you the faucet page also. I didn't show it, but here we go. Just a quick detour here. This is what you have on the faucet page. You type in your address and you hit request. All right, let's go on to VTRU Studio. So what you're seeing right now is the VTRU Studio Alpha homepage after you sign in. One of the things that we've been working on is, and thank you to all the creator community who are helping us with this, is localization. So we've got VTRU Studio available now in 5 languages. It works quite well. Excited about that, and we'll keep extending it to many languages because creators are global, and we want to meet people where they are and not have them, try and. Because I'll tell you what a creator does. They'll have Google Translate open and copy paste this, translate, understand what it does, and then move on. That's a terrible way to work. We can do better than that, and so we want to do localization for it. All right, so with VTRU Studio Alpha, the Genesis artists that we are targeting initially for this, but we also have a wait list, right? So they'll come in here and they'll update their profile, and then they'll consign their artwork. And when you consign your artwork, you go through a multi-step process. So there are 4 steps here, but there's a 5th one that will be added this week also. The 5th one, so the first one is asset media, then there's asset metadata, licenses, terms of use. The 5th one's going to be auxiliary media. So what we are doing is we are the first protocol that out of the box for every artwork that's consigned, we will auto-enable augmented reality capability for them. So we are fast approaching a time where, thanks to Apple and other companies, augmented reality will start becoming mainstream very soon. And what we want to do is make it possible for any creator who wants to augmented reality AR enable their artwork to just do it. Very easy. Just upload assets for it, and you do nothing. And you scan. We will provide we will provide a QR code. When someone scans that QR code, they will be able to see the augmented reality content that you offer. And it doesn't matter if they scan your artwork, on digital media or on a T-shirt or on a shopping bag or wherever they scan it, the augmented reality media will appear. The other thing we are giving artists the ability to do with the auxiliary media is upload BTS, behind the scenes video, etc., so that so that buyers can have access to that. But let me just skim through some of these things that I've shown previously, but I want to just review real quick. So the first thing is asset media. So this is where our artists can upload their artworks. And what we are doing here is conforming to standards. And so we require artists to, yes, upload the original, which can be any size you want. But then with display, exhibition, and preview, we have standards that we expect the artworks to conform to, because we want the artwork to look glorious on big screens and things like that. So we are super excited about that. Let's go back to some of the other screens here. All right, so let's look at asset metadata. As I mentioned, this is the screen that is the engine has been implemented, but the details haven't. So what we are doing here with asset metadata is we are bringing in metadata fields that are standard for linked art, the metadata standard used by top museums in the world. And so in here, what we've done is created an engine for that, where we can dynamically add these fields as we go along, change them, things like that, and that will just work. But the engine for this is in place, and you'll see that like when I close this, it reported an error because I didn't put something in here. But if I put a proper thing here, it reports it's correct, and it's in progress. So you can see that engine is complete and working. And now we have the ability to add whatever metadata fields we want dynamically. So we can add a field and in a configuration file on our system, and it starts showing up immediately. We don't have to redeploy the software or do anything else like that, which is really, really exciting. But the part I want to show you today and focus on is licenses. So this is a very new and exciting thing that doesn't exist on any marketplace or any protocol anywhere. We are creating tokenized licenses, the first protocol to do this. And as I showed you in my slide, we have 4 licenses to begin with. We have NFT, stream, print, and remix. Let's see how this works. Again, keep in mind that we are making this a new technical innovation, yet super easy for creators to use. So all a creator has to do is look at these licenses, read the text, and opt in. So let's say you want to opt in for NFTs. You check this, and it gives you your choices. So what are the choices? Well, we emphasize intellectual property rights. So the first thing is you have licenses. So you can choose from all the different types of licenses. And as I mentioned, we have a Vitruveo license. It's at the bottom right now because it doesn't exist yet. Once the copy is done, we'll probably move it to the top because we feel like that would be a good default for people to use. But the CC licenses are basically standard licenses, and you can click on the I at any time, and it will take you to the detail of that. So you can see what exactly that license entails, and you can see it in plain English. And if you want to, you can also see the legalese for that. So you can go in here and you can see that, okay, what exactly does this allow a person to do? This level of license integration does not exist anywhere. At the most, you will find listings on OpenSea, Foundation, etc., having cut and paste license language of a couple of paragraphs that the artist has put in the description field. We are being very specific about granular on-chain licenses. All right. Having decided on that, the next choice that an artist has is to decide on editions. Now, choosing between one of one and multiple editions is the pain in the ass for most creators. They don't like it. They struggle with it. So we've invented elastic editions where we've made it really, really simple for people to figure it out. You we also still provide the single edition and unlimited editions if you want to have like an open drop where anyone can come and claim. But we expect that most artists will choose elastic editions because elastic editions allow buyers to choose what the edition size will be, etc. So here, a couple of simple choices and you're done. So enter an edition price, approximately what you want. And maybe I want 10 editions at $100 each. It'll tell you what your total price is. A good way for creators is to figure out how much total money they want to make from an artwork and just make these two numbers so that the total price turns out to be what you want it to be. Now, one of the things that doesn't exist in any marketplace in a scalable way or an easy to implement way is a discount for multiple editions. But because Elastic Edition is intended for buyers to essentially capture the whole edition number of editions if they want to, like, so maybe the artist has sold 2 editions and there are 8 remaining out of the 10, but I go in there and I want to buy all 8 of them. Well, the edition discount essentially makes it possible for me to essentially get an 8% discount because I'm buying 8 of them, right? So that makes it more attractive for buyers to go in and immediately grab your whole set of editions. And if I buy the 8, then the final tally of that edition is going to be it's going to be a 3 edition art sale because and I will own one of 3 at that point. So that's what Elastic Edition means, is you set as a creator the number of editions, but the buyer can come and change that for you and possibly even make it a 1 of 1. So if some buyer came in and said that, okay, this artwork is worth $1,000, I just want it, they can buy it and it becomes 1 of 1. So Elastic Editions is a great solution for a lot of creators. So we also have Stream License. The Stream License has no pricing associated with it because it's network-driven pricing. So there will be dynamic pricing based upon the usage, etc. So we'll get to that, and I'll go into more details in a future download. We have Print License. We are going to have multiple print licenses. The initial print license we are doing is a consumer print license for POD, print on demand applications. So what you do is you put in a unit price and say that, well, if you want my work on a t-shirt, you have to pay me $10, and that's it. This is a specific license that is not for bulk printing. So if you want to print 1 million replicas of this artwork on some product, a shopping bag or something, this license doesn't allow that, and the language will say that. This is individual. So we'll have a print art 2, a print art 3, etc., which allows different use cases. And that's the beauty of it. We'll keep introducing more and more license types that are interesting. So that's the 3 licenses. And now we come to the Remix license. So the Remix license is essentially the ability for you to allow your artwork to be used in a lot of remix scenarios like I described in Canva and other applications. So when you do that, you again give it a unit price. Now keep in mind that this is a simple remix scenario. You're probably going to have 0 sales for remix scenarios if you put in huge numbers. So we're talking about a couple bucks here. So let's say we put in $2 here. That's a reasonable kind of approach to it. So that's the licensing models. In addition, we have sort of legal agreements that the creator adheres to. One of the things we are trying to do is build a lot of trust. And so we require the creator to proactively state that they have not plagiarized, copied, stolen the work from anywhere. We also require them to acknowledge that if the work is AI generated, that they say that in the metadata, because we want to highlight that so that buyer is informed. A lot of people have no problem buying AI art, but they don't like it if they find out after the fact that what they thought was an artist-generated artwork was in fact AI generated, in which case it's bad business. So we don't want that. And we also want them to specify and agree that once they consign the work here, they're not going and minting it somewhere else or putting it on another place, etc. So these are agreements, and we have a full-fledged sort of creator agreement here. So all of that is part of VTRU Studio. It's coming to you as early as next week, where we feel we are almost done with this. As I said, we're 80% done, and we'll launch it. So that is a quick demo of VTRU Studio. Let's go on to some ecosystem updates before we come back to more demos. All right. First ecosystem update. Last Friday, I was just back from the freezing tundra of Kalamazoo, Michigan, and I wanted here to give you a little more detail and insight into it. So I had met Zach there. That was great. We were on the Western Michigan University campus, and we started to make some inroads into academia there. So I had a chance to present to WMU design and engineering students in 2 separate sessions, as you can see on the screen on top right. They did a good job of promoting it throughout the campus. We had various discussions with faculty on academic projects featuring Vitruveo, and we are projecting currently that as of Q3 2024, Vitruveo will start being a part of academia. So I'm really, really excited about that because, as I mentioned last week, I feel like there's a lot of innovation that's going to come to Vitruveo from students, especially as part of their design and engineering projects, where they actually try and solve problems in a very tangible way with Vitruveo, given the low gas costs and the low friction for them to get on board, it makes it really, really easy. We are also looking to create collabs between design and engineering students and make those projects there. So we can, for example, create an NFT or PFP project that supports generative art or something like that is programmed. So the engineering students do the programming, the art students do the art. Boom, we create a project, we roll it out. So this is really, really exciting for us. All right. The next thing I want to highlight is the fact that if you start Googling Vitruveo these days, you're going to see a lot more press coverage. I'm really excited that we were featured on CoinMarketCap and also in Gulf News here. They had a great story about how the how we are using blockchain technology to help artists around the world onboard into Web3. So please do read some of those. We've done a good story about license tokenization. We think that's a good hook for Vitruveo, and so that's out there also. And we'll continue to have story placement. We'll continue to work with journalists to educate people about Web3 and about Vitruveo and how we are onboarding folks. So that's part of our ecosystem update. Next up, I want to talk about Freedom VPN. So one of the things that I set up as part of our Nifty Dreams Collective is a fast, free VPN service for Iranian artists to work around the IR government blocks. I, of course, created a scenario where I would never be welcome in Iran and would be immediately detained. However, it was more important for me to provide artists the ability to be free and to create. And so 3,000 artists currently use this service for highly reliable internet access. And in keeping with our core mission to support creators globally, I'm pleased to announce that on Feb 1, we're going to relaunch the Freedom VPN as the Vitruveo Freedom VPN. We will also extend over time this service to other countries where the government is autocratic, despotic, etc., and prevents people from having freedom. So we want our creators around the world to be able to access freely the blockchain and to be able to transact on it and to make money, make a livelihood, right? Our mission is to make it possible for every creator everywhere on earth to make a sustainable income through their art. And by initiatives like this, we essentially fulfill our mission. So I'm really excited about that. We'll be doing a separate space in Farsi to help educate and artists about what change is coming. But the change is all better. We are trying to make it where we are able to connect with them easily and give them information about maybe upcoming maintenance windows and things like that. Nick is an Iranian outlaw. I am. I happen to speak out. I believe deeply in freedom and will speak out against anyone who is oppressing people. All right, next up, our Dream Fund. So we have the first grant we announced, which is $10,000 for the Da Vinci grant. And I'm very pleased to report that as of right now, we have 31 applications. I was looking over them, some pretty darn good ideas. Now, here's how this is coming together. In about 5 days, January 31, the applications window will close. And then we're going to put those out to vote. Now, we don't have a voting platform yet, but VTRU Scope will be out, and you will have your NFT and you will have your governance credits on there. So we will unlock that. It might take us a week or so, but we will stand up a basic app so you can use your Nexus NFT, your Dreamer NFT, your Benefactor NFT to actually go in there and vote for these applications. And your vote will decide who gets funded. So the $10,000 is broken up into 5 grants of $1,000 each and 10 grants of $500 each. So if you are a creator, I highly encourage you to apply. The URL is there. Why? Well, this grant isn't just about money. You have the unique once in a lifetime opportunity to be featured as the winner of a new blockchain's grant. And that comes with a lot of promotion. We're going to help market you. It comes with a lot of support. We're going to provide you technical support. We're going to provide you business guidance. We're going to provide you any artistic insights if you want. We have great artists on our team. And really, at the end of the day, this is an opportunity for you to really shine and be in the spotlight. So if you are an artist, I really encourage you to apply. There are 2 categories to apply. One is a project that does some kind of social good. It could be anything. The sky's the limit. And the other category is one that helps artists learn and grow. So it could be that you create a series of lessons for artists to learn a technique or anything like that. So there's a lot of you out there, a lot of you listening. This is a golden opportunity. Don't be fixated on, can I do it? How do I do it? What should I do? And about the money, think past it. This is a career opportunity that you will not get again. You might get it again, but the competition is going to be much more intense. Right now, the competition is not as big. You have a very good chance of winning this if you have a good proposal. So I hope you will step up and get this. From what I know from prior applications, they all come in at the last minute of the deadline. Don't wait till the last minute. Go ahead and submit your application soon. All right. I'm now pleased to announce another exciting grant opportunity, development grants. So we want to bring as many projects as possible to Vitruveo. And in doing so, what we want is to incentivize developers to build on Vitruveo. So our focus is on 3 primary areas for developers. If you have a project that has one of these areas, we'd love to talk. The first is PFP collections and collectors. So the core essence of what I've talked about today with Studio, etc., is around creators. But we are a protocol, and we focus a lot on NFTs. And so PFP collections and collectors are a big area of focus for us. And we'd like to make sure that any developers building projects in those areas will come talk to us, and we'll build on Vitruveo. The other 2 categories are DeFi enthusiasts and gaming enthusiasts. So these are also very big categories, and they dovetail very nicely into the creator economy. There's a lot of vectors where these categories, such as DeFi and gaming, can take advantage of creative output and integrate that. So we are excited to see that. Now, the only requirement we have for projects is that they must take advantage of the Vitruveo rebasing mechanism in some way. That's an important thing. And if you saw the earlier of this session, I talked about how we've got on-chain ability for you to interact with the rebasing values, etc. So our goal here is to support projects that take advantage of rebasing to reward collectors and users to come to the chain. We want to bring as many people to the chain as possible, while we are doing everything possible to make the experience easy for creators. Ultimately, creators are here to earn money, to sell their artworks, and that's going to come from collectors. So if we can have unique mechanisms through DeFi, etc., where collectors are rewarded for coming on the chain, buying artworks, buying PFP projects, etc., then it's a win-win for everybody. And so we are really excited to work on this. The details of the development grants will be available later today. I do not have them as of yet because we're still finalizing them, but expect to see this on our website today on www.vitruveo.xyz. But this was a early heads up for you. We are looking to bring developers on here. At next week's download, I'll go into way more detail on the specific grants available and how you can go into the application process, etc. But look forward to talking to developers. I'm really, really excited about this. All right. So that brings us to sort of the end of this download session. So there's the download, but there is one more thing. I hinted earlier that we're going to introduce to you our first sort of remix partner. I haven't done that yet. So let me go ahead and do that. So I'm pleased to report to you that we are going to be partnering with LensPost. LensPost is a new platform that is designed to allow you to remix and create amazing content. So what I'm going to do today is show you what LensPost looks like with its integration with other chains like Ethereum and Solana. Now, what we are doing with LensPost is collaborating for them to bring a LensPost edition exclusively for Vitruveo. So it would be on our chain, and you're going to see exactly how it's going to work in just a moment. Let me go ahead and drag this window over here where I'm already in LensPost Studio, and you can see it's a very simple and easy to use application. What you have here is some options to pull in different types of content. Currently, it's connected to the EVM, so it pulls in content from various sources. Like right now, it's pulling in NFTs straight from my account. Now, what we are going to do is allow users to actually get content from every creator who has enabled their artwork with a remix license. So if you saw the demo I did with the remix license, you check that box and your artwork starts appearing in here. And you can very easily then, once you're here, start mixing content. Just it's drag and drop, easily create stuff. So I was showing you earlier, these are my NFTs. So I can pull that in here easily and work with it. So people can create amazing artworks and publish them. Our first version of it will allow you to have static output for social media, but the next version of it will allow you to actually mint that out. So you can create output and then mint that also as output. So here you can see how you can mint it. Because this is the standard version, our Vitruveo version will have only one option, mint on Vitruveo. And therefore, you can create a secondary market for artworks that you have used in there. And at the same time, you can earn some money by creating unique meme content that is usable by everybody. So we are really excited about this because the ability for people to create interesting things is unparalleled. The app works beautifully. It also has AI artworks and backgrounds, etc. So just imagine as an artist, if you create a series of photographs, maybe you're a photographer and you check those for remix output. Well, people can use your photos as backgrounds for memes. If you're a 2D sketch artist, you can create sketches that are used by folks on LensPost for that. So again, LensPost is coming to Vitruveo, standalone product. It will be available. We are working on integrating it. So every artist who consigns their artwork and checks that remix box, their artwork start showing up in a palette just like this. So yeah, this is super, super exciting. And if you can connect the dots here, you can see things like Poet, LensPost, etc. They're all applications that are geared around the creator economy and consumers. And what they are designed to do is to really, really have people start seeing Vitruveo as a blockchain with great applications that they can use. So there's more coming, folks. I have to kind of slowly unleash these things to you, but there's a lot more coming, and you're going to be amazed by the number of applications that we're going to have for you. So yeah, this is so LensPost. Excited. What I will do is, once we have our initial integration done, I will have the founder come on here and talk to you about it. But we are really excited. The integration is really well planned, and it's going to move forward very, very quickly. And I'm excited for artists because this is the first time that they can just check a box on the artwork, and all of a sudden it's available to monetize on another platform. Very soon, I'll also show you similar things that we are doing for streaming, and it's going to be really, really exciting. So that is the download for today. Zach, come on back over.
What's up?
All right, that was fun. I need
so much
to
information. So much new stuff.
Yes.
Cool. I started some questions. Let's see what we got. Where should we start? Let's start in this realm. Are there plans to launch an NFT marketplace? And the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Maybe give a little bit more insight to where we are with that. And
yeah, the goal is to launch 1,000 NFT marketplaces. Why do I say that? Well, we will have our NFT store open source edition out there. It is like a Shopify system where anyone can go and create a variant marketplace with a subset of artworks that they want to sell. So any of you here with no developer skills will be able to create a marketplace on Vitruveo. Why is that possible? Well, everyone else has a model where the marketplace is created by developers, and then people go mint there, and it's just it's a very old and stodgy form, I think, of marketplaces. We want to be more agile, more modern, and more Web3 centric. And Web3 is about everyone owning their data and doing, what they want to with the tools that are available. So you will be able to go create your own marketplace, decide what your markup is, and start selling. So our primary marketplace will support that feature.
Cool. This is a pretty cool or pretty good question. That's partly directed towards me. We need to come up with an official way to report bugs and not just the holders chat. So I'll think about that over the weekend. We could have
we need to have that for everybody, right? So one of the standards in that area is Zendesk. So we'll probably launch something similar to that, a help desk similar to that, where people can report open trouble tickets, if you will. Because we already have that in Discord, but not everyone's going to be in Discord. So, yeah.
Cool. As a technology enthusiast, VTRU is a fork of Ethereum. I would like to know, are we using the latest and greatest version of Ethereum code, and are we on top of the evolution?
As of 4 months ago, it was the latest one. But right now, we are not gonna, merge any of the changes that don't apply to us. But in the future, once we have an in-house engineering team, we will continue to monitor their code base and bring in merge the changes that apply to us. So yeah, but right now it's pretty stable, and we don't see any need to bring in current changes.
But to give a little context, I mean, what is the latest and greatest with what's going on in the ecosystem of EVM is account abstraction, and we talked about again that today, and it's really looking like that's the next path forward for dApps, and wallets, and paying for gas and all etc. So we're definitely looking at implementing that. Let's see. We talked about MXC. When is the advertising listing going to be made with MXC? I think is what they're
It's
asking.
up to them.
Yeah,
you'll have to ask Maxi.
I would assume once we have all the prerequisites done.
Yeah, I already covered that, right? Basically, we are going through actually making sure that it's reviewed and accepted by the security team. No one's going to do any marketing until the security team gives the green light.
Yep. We'll have you ask if the booster sale ends when VTRO swap goes live and trading with wrapped VTRU goes live.
No, I already covered this. We have a trigger point. We have a $3 million goal. So we're going to get to that goal. It doesn't make sense for us to prematurely close those sales. So once the total of booster plus Saft hits 3 million, we'll close it. But again, I always say, with Saft, funds have to be in a wallet. Like commitments are not good enough, so it's always money in the bank, basically. So that's kind of what we are waiting for on a lot of deals right now.
This guy had like 5 questions in one, and there's a couple that we can address. He asked about paying for gas and put. We already do that. Other features, we already talked about the token gating.
They are asking until when. I don't see any reason
forever
to stop doing that. It's indefinitely, I think. Yeah.
And part 2 of their question was, please, these questions are not allowed. One, when Bandit 2, we're already on RC2.
Yeah.
When launch, we already talked about.
I don't know why people keep asking when launch. I have no idea what it means. Like they have not listened at all to anything or are not participating.
4 is the one I want to hit. Why the treasury is so low? Our treasury is actually pretty high right now. We're at 350K. I just wanted to address that one.
And I'll just reiterate, the purpose of the booster sales is to give us our ongoing operating capital. That has always been the case and always will be the case, So, how can I swap my VTRU? Does that mean wrap it or swap it?
Yes. And for people who, I know we didn't cover it here, but Esso recorded our town hall and put it up on YouTube. So I know he's been posting it in the holders chat. So if you have questions on how to do it, that video is available.
Yeah, for wrap VTRU, you can. There is an announcement when we've updated the correct contract addresses on there. So if you go to the announcements channel, it tells you how to go through the wrap VTRU exercise there. But we're going to put it directly on the DEX also, so you can wrap directly on the DEX, not swap, wrap.
Sneakers. We haven't talked for a while.
Yeah. So the artist, we gave the artist some feedback on their design based on what the community said, and I'll do my best to get the second design and maybe the updated first design also. I'll talk to Fur about it and get it for the next download to show you. And we are going to essentially wait until we have a good capital reserve, and then we'll place the order for the sneakers and get them going. And really make sure that we are also primed to do some integration there. Like we will have VTRU Studio up. We will have the ability to have licenses, etc. So I would love to, when we do the sneaker launch, we also work with Diverge and get it into their platform so that people can order other designs also. So I'm excited about that. But I will commit to bringing up both the designs here next week to review.
Which wallets are eligible for the 0.5% of new tokens? Either it's all the wallets who sealed the deal or only the wallets who swapped for VTRO.
I'm trying to parse the logic of the last sentence there. Either it is all the wallets who seal the deal, or only the wallets who swap. I don't understand the last phrase there. Only the wallets who swap for VTRU.
I think what they mean, and correct us if we're wrong, is they mean like the people who weren't paying attention who got their 50-50 split, would they still be eligible?
No, they would not. Okay, I see that. All right, so there are two classes of folks who are eligible for that 0.5% of airdropped new tokens. One is everyone who clicked the seal button and sealed their deal. And two is everyone who participated in the original UXI sacrifice and therefore were airdropped VTRO tokens. So that's it. Those are the two classes. And we are currently working on and thinking about an architecture where if you choose to, you can come in and swap your wallet out. That way, if for whatever reason you want a different wallet address, you can have that. But you have to be one of those two classes of wallet holders in order to be able to benefit from that.
Is erotic art in Poet for creators allowed?
Sure.
That doesn't mean go crazy and uploading. It's got to be artistic.
Yes. If it's legal, it's fine.
Will VTRO have a burning mechanism sometime in the future? Is that something we've thought about?
The contract's done and deployed. So the only way that a burning mechanism could be created is for us to have another sort of contract that essentially forwards tokens to a zero address. So it's possible in theory, but would need to think about it some more.
So Remix license will protected for any social media user allowed to use our arts, but how do we know if that person using our art from this platform?
Yes, with some of these questions, it takes me a while to grok what their intent is here. So the Remix license is to have an application consume that license, pay for it, and allow the user to use that artwork. But how do we know if that person using our art from this platform? They can't be. They can be from anywhere. There is nothing that stops someone from creating a new application like LensPost that just uses Remix licenses and consumes them. So there's two things to consider here. One is legal use and one is illegal use, right? So if people are using it legally, then the pathway is use that on-chain mechanism to pay and buy a license. The illegal way is right-click copy, and you can do that with anything, anywhere, and there's nothing to protect people from doing that, but that would be illegal use.
Okay, so we got a follow-up on that question about he meant like if someone sealed the deal at 100% VTRU, are you still eligible?
No, because you don't have any VTRU to stake. No, you would not be eligible for that. You would have to have had at least 1% for your address to be carried over.
Cool. Someone have a great idea for Poet, and they think it would make it better. Is it possible to get a quick 5 minutes to speak with you? And I mean,
yeah,
you can.
My calendar is always open. Go to my Twitter profile, click on the calendar link, and schedule a meeting. I would just let people know that if you schedule within 72 hours, then there's a good chance the meeting won't happen because I have to manually approve it. And but make it for past 72 hours, and it'll be auto approved.
Will there be a contest to win Vitruveo gear in the future? I'm sure.
100%.
I'm sure there will.
Yes.
What is the size of the VTRU perks pool for VTRO stakers? 10% of VTRU swapped, something like 250K or 900K? Thanks.
You're putting me on the spot. Let me go.
Oh, his math questions are always very technical.
Well, we did say it would be 10% of. Yeah, you're right. So it would be 250K because it was 2.51 million. I'm going to reserve the right to go back and check my math, but just superficially, that looks like it would be the that amount. So I'll compute that and announce that officially. So make a note of that. So this is the VTRO staker pool. Yep.
The information about at least one VTRO to be swapped when swinging the deal came after some people already sealed 100% keeping VTRU, so they feel disadvantaged.
I don't know about that. I mean, at the end of the day, there's the spirit of it, and then there's the technical aspect of it. The spirit of it was intended to be, swap, so we can balance the cap table. So people who did that deserve a benefit. People who didn't do that, like if you're just hitting seal and not benefiting the organization by swapping at least some amount, then you are disadvantaged. You didn't benefit the organization. So I think it's reasonable and fair to keep it the way it is, which is if you swap something, then you get a benefit from it.
Not sure if this was mentioned. Is there a fee to unstake your VTRO, and will there be a time frame on unstaking, like if you can't unstake immediately?
No, we've always imagined that that's a dynamic stake and unstake. But until we get into the actual details of that staking application, I can't guarantee that. I would say I'm 90% going to say that there will not be any issue. More than likely, we will make it an epoch-based framing of staking and unstaking, which epoch is 1 day, 24 hours. So we'll probably make it where it corresponds to epoch windows just to make the math easier, because the math becomes a nightmare, especially if someone knows an airdrop is coming. You stake, you unstake, etc. It's not good. So there will be some epoch related thing, but it's not going to be large. It's not going to be like wait for months or something like that. It's going to be something small. It's either going to be a day or a week. That's my best guess at this point.
Awesome. We ran through them all.
Wow, that's cool. Well, yeah. So there's a lot going on, and I can tell you the intensity has increased so much over the past week. It's just been like holding on while this train is moving so fast.
I was right before we jumped on this, I talked to Fur, and we were both talking about how crazy it can be.
Yeah, but I'm really grateful to the community. So quick, a few highlights, right? We are getting a whole new people into this community, especially creators, and I love the support they are showing us, especially on Twitter. So I appreciate that very much. This is your blockchain. It is a community-centric project, and we want to make sure that you feel comfortable about it. I'm also eternally grateful always for our community, the folks that stand by us, and especially the folks that recognize the realities of the things we have to do. Everyone, I know the number one question always begins with when, when this, when that, etc. And I think the business savvy folks understand that question is nuanced, right? You can't, for a lot of these things which have so many dependencies, variables, and really external agencies, right? External entities, it's really hard to give a when, and especially when it comes to software, right? You go and ask a developer, when will it be done? They'll be like, well, it's going to take 2 or 3 days. Then they hit a bug, and that bug takes them like 24 hours or 36 hours to fix that one tiny bug. And then your schedule is gone out the window, And that happens. Like if you're a software engineer, you see that, you know that.
I mean,
it's a fact of
in the
life.
limited developing that I do when I'm trying to like do some sort of automations, when I can't figure something out, and sometimes it's like when you do figure it out, you're like, goodness, like
That was
you just
easy.
get like a wave of relief, and you're like,
Yeah.
why didn't I think of this like 2 hours ago? But like, yeah,
Yeah.
I know the feeling.
That's
Only
the
as
software development process, and it's infuriating at times, but it's also gratifying when you do solve that problem. But
very, very much
for,
so.
for people in sort of leadership roles, etc., who have to communicate to stakeholders, it's very challenging because I pretty much can only go and talk to the engineers and say, hey, when will this be ready? I can tell them it needs to be ready by noon on Monday. But you know what will happen then? I will get a product that is guaranteed to be hacked in the future. Guaranteed. And so as a leader, I think like, do I want to have that scenario, or do I want to give the engineers the time necessary to test it properly and make sure we deliver something that's secure? And I always err on the side of security. And that will make a lot of people unhappy sometimes. But that's actually what's happening with Mexi right now. They are like, well, if you have only 2 nodes, then that's insecure, and we want it to be secure. So we are like, well, all right, we'll make it secure then. And so respond to that. So security is going to always be the thing that gets in the way of all schedules, always, like, because you want it to be secure. Every major hack that you see has behind it some manager saying, screw the security, it won't happen to us, and they will always be proven wrong because people will find ways to expose vulnerabilities and exploit them.
I mean, it's just like what happened with Wallet Connect not too long ago. Like that was a huge issue of one of the most legacy plugins that interacts with so many applications. That was crazy.
All right. Well, my day is not over. I have 3 more meetings back to back now. So gonna go and grab another chai and hit it, and see you all again online in Discord live. Maybe we'll try and do that again in the middle of the week.
I'm in,
and I'll keep you updated as developments happen. And the moment we get the green light from Mexi, it's gonna be announced on Discord. So we're excited about that, and we're doing everything to expedite that. So thank you so much, and have a great weekend, everyone. See you.
Go Lions.